Usonia/Usoni/ was a word used by American architect Frank Lloyd Wright to refer to his vision for the landscape of the United States, including the planning of cities and the architecture of buildings. Wright proposed the use of the adjective Usonian in place of American to describe the particular New World character of the American landscape as distinct and free of previous architectural conventions. Usonian houses. Usonian is a term usually referring to a group of approximately 60 middle-income family homes designed by Frank Lloyd Wright beginning in 1936 with the Jacobs House. The Usonian homes are typically small, single-story dwellings without a garage or much storage. They are often L-shaped to fit around a garden terrace on unusual and inexpensive sites. They are characterized by native materials, flat roofs and large cantilevered overhangs for passive solar heating and natural cooling, natural lighting with clerestory windows, and radiant floor heating. A strong visual connection between the interior and exterior spaces is an important characteristic of all Usonian homes. The word carport was coined by Wright to describe an overhang for sheltering a parked vehicle. The Usonia Historic District is a planned community in Pleasantville, New York built in the 1950s following this concept. Wright designed 3 of the 47 homes himself. Variants of the Jacobs House design are still in existence today. Citation needed. The Usonian design is considered among the aesthetic origins of the ranch-style house popular in the American West of the 1950s. Citation needed. In 2013, Florida Southern College constructed the 13th Wright Building on their campus according to plans that he created in 1939. The 1,700 square feet building includes textile block construction, colored glass and perforated concrete blocks, Wright photographs, a documentary film about the architect's work at the school, and furniture designed by Wright. Named the Usonian House, it was originally designed as one of 20 faculty housing units. The building is home to the Sharp Family Tourism and Education Center, a visitor center for guests visiting campus to see the collection of Frank Lloyd Wright buildings. Origin of the word. The word Usonian appears to have been coined by James Duff Law, an American writer born in 1865. In a miscellaneous collection entitled, Here and There in Two Hemispheres 1903, Law quoted a letter of his own dated June 18, 1903 that begins, "We of the United States, in justice to Canadians and Mexicans, have no right to use the title Americans when referring to matters pertaining exclusively to ourselves." He went on to acknowledge that some author had proposed Usona, but that he preferred the form Usonia. Perhaps the earliest published use by Wright was in 1927. But why this term America has become representative as the name of these United States at home and abroad is past recall. Samuel Butler fitted us with a good name. He called us Usonians, and our nation of combined states, Usonia. Frank Lloyd Wright on Architecture Selected Writings 1894-1940, p. 100. However, this seems to be a misattribution, as there is as yet no published evidence that Butler ever used the word. It has become the established name for the United States in Esperanto. The creator of Esperanto, L. Zamenhof, used Usono in his speech at the 1910 World Congress of Esperanto in Washington, D.C., coincidentally the same year Wright was in Europe. But it was already well established by 1908, when Joseph Rhodes, a fellow of the British Esperanto Association and a member of the Lingua Comitato, published the English Esperanto Dictionary, which was based upon the Fundamento, the Esperanto literature, and the National Esperanto Dictionaries bearing Dr. Zamenhof's approbo. Jose F. Buscaglia Salgado reclaims the term Usonian to refer to the people's, national ideology and neo-imperial tradition of the United States of America. Miguel Torres Castro uses the term Usonian to refer to the origin of the Atlantic puffin bird used in the children's book Jupa the Puffin, a Usonian story. The bird is a puffin from Maine, USA. Noted Usonian houses: Dudley Spencer House, Wilmington, Delaware; John D. Haynes House, Fort Wayne, Indiana; Goach Winkler House, Okemos, Michigan; Alvin and Inez Miller Residence, Charles City, Iowa; Arthur Pieper Residence, Paradise Valley, Arizona; Bachman Wilson House, Millstone, New Jersey; Benjamin Rebhune House, Great Neck Estates, New York; Bernard Schwartz House, Two Rivers, Wisconsin; Donald Schauberg House, Okemos, Michigan; Donald C. Duncan House, Donegal, Pennsylvania, dismantled and relocated from its original location in Lisle, Illinois; Dorothy H. Turkle House, Detroit, Michigan; Frank S. Sander House, Stamford, Connecticut; Erling P. Bronner House, Okemos, Michigan; Evelyn and Conrad Gordon House, Wilsonville, Oregon, later moved to Silverton, Oregon; George Sturgis House, Los Angeles, California; Herbert and Catherine Jacobs First House, Madison, Wisconsin; J. A. Sweden Residence, Cherry Hill, New Jersey; John and Ruth Pugh House, Shorewood Hills, Wisconsin; John Gillen Residence, Dallas, Texas; John T. and Margaret Nichols House, Alloway, Wisconsin, Kenneth and Phyllis Laron House, Rockford, Illinois, Kentuck Knob, Stewart Township, Fayette County, Pennsylvania. John and Sid Dobkins House, Canton, Ohio. Nathan Rubin House, Canton, Ohio. Alice Feynman House, Canton, Ohio. Louis Penfield House, Willoughby Hills, Ohio. Loveness House and Cottage, Stillwater, Minnesota. Lowell and Agnes Walter House, Crusquetin, Iowa. Malcolm Wiley House, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Melvin Maxwell and Sarah Stein Smith House, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Muirhead Farmhouse, Hampshire, Illinois. Paul J. and Ida Trier House, Johnston, Iowa. Paul and Jean Hanna House, Palo Alto, California. Popley E. House, Alexandria, Virginia. Robert H. Sunday House, Marshalltown, Iowa. Robert and Ray Levin House, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Rosenbaum House, Florence, Alabama. Samara John E. Christian House, West Lafayette, Indiana. Usonia Homes, Pleasantville, New York. Saul Friedman House, Edward Serlin House. Roland Riesley House, Weltzheimer/Johnson House, Oberlin, Ohio. Zimmerman House, Manchester, New Hampshire. Krause House, Kirkwood, Missouri. House, Lansing, Michigan. Peters Margeton House, University of Evansville, Indiana.